scars. A wise sage once said, "Love is a battlefield." And in that battle, I've been to war. So high school, mid-'80s, I wanted to be Bueller. Ferris Bueller. I wanted to be that cool guy who was smart, sophisticated. He got away with things, and he got the girl, right? The girl, Sloane Peterson, right? Sloane. I had my Sloane. We'll call her, her name was Sarah. And the problem was, I wasn't Ferris. And Sarah didn't really notice me. She was into oily bohunks. And she went from oily bohunk to oily bohunk. So I relegated myself to the only place I could go, which is the friend zone. Yeah. So in the friend zone, you sit at lunch with the girl you like, and you listen to her talk about the bohunks, and you pretend that you care, and you pay attention to her, and you hurt because you know that you're the guy for her. She just doesn't recognize it yet. So what I've become was not Ferris, but I was Ducky. So I was Ducky without as much style. I had a Jufro and glasses, but that's what I was. And my buddy Rick was like, "Dude, don't be a Ducky. I mean, come on." And I thought like what every self-respecting guy would do was not do what I was doing and hang out with this girl that didn't like you. But that all changed. All right, hoped it would one night. When I found out from my parents that I had tickets to go see Macbeth at the People's Light and Theater Company, which, for those of you who live around here, it's this theater out in Westchester. Pretty cool spot. So we had 3 tickets, and I was pretty stoked. I was going to ask Sarah. She actually was in between bohunks. Go figure. And I was going to take my buddy Rick, but I'm like, no, it'll just be the 2 of us. So I got up the courage one day at lunch. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, "Hey, Sarah, I've got these tickets to go see Macbeth. Would you like to go with me?" And she looked at me, and she said, "Yeah, I would." Now, let me tell you about Sarah. She wasn't Sloane Peterson. She wasn't sophisticated. She was kind of dirty, but I liked that. You know, she was more like the Ali Sheedy character in Breakfast Club, if you know that one, right? The one, yeah, that one. And she was kind of goth and dark, but I mean, just God, I was just so into her, that, I don't know, whatever it was, it struck me at a very deep level. And, yeah. And so she said, yeah, I'll go with you. And I was just like, oh my God, this is it. Like, I'm going to step out of the friend zone, and I'm going to go into the Ferris zone. Boom, boom. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so I go to pick her up, and she looks great. I mean, she looks kind of clean, which, I don't know, I couldn't tell if it was a turn off, but anyway, she cleaned up, kind of like Ali Sheedy did at the end of Breakfast Club, but I never could figure out how she did that, because she had a new dress, and she was, anyway. So I pick her up, and we head out, and, you know, I had a mixtape all ready to go for the car. It's cassettes. This is a cassette tape. That's all right. So I had a mixtape, like New Order, Bizarre Love Triangle, a couple other tunes, and so we head out to the theater. And the People's Light and Theater Company, it's a weird kind of spot. It's a theater in the round. So the theater itself is a stage, not unlike this, but you sit around it. And once the show starts, that's it. I mean, you can't go anywhere. So we walk up to our seats, and I'm like, I'm in heaven. This is happening, right? I mean, I never really had many girlfriends. I was like most of them from the Niagara Falls area, but it just, never really panned out for me. So, thank you. So you know what I'm talking about. So I get her up to the seats, and we sit down, and the show starts. And Macbeth, if you don't know, starts with this famous scene with these 3 witches. They come out the stage, and they're like, oil, boil, and cauldron, and bubble, and newts, and lots of, dogs, and not the nicest thing. And she leans over to me, and she goes, "Eric." I don't know about you, but whenever any girl whispers in my ear, it's just like electricity through the whole body, especially nether regions, and it's just like, and I'm thinking to myself, this is it. This is the night. This is the night. I'm so psyched. This is like awesome. I can't believe this. And she goes, Eric. And I say, what? And she goes, I go, what? And she goes, I think I'm going to be sick. And she turns to the empty seat. Yeah, and she just pukes, just vomits into the seat like frat boy, like projectile, Monty Python, meaning of life, like splatter in the coat of the guy in front of her. And I was here, and now I'm here, and she's there, and what do I do? So I take her by the hand, I walk her off, literally, I walk her down across the stage, right? Because the show's going on, the witches are like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, where do I go? And they point me over there, so I go off the stage, and I walk back with this girl, and Macbeth is waiting in the wings, and he's like, what happened? I'm like, there's a cleanup in 16H, and I walk her into the bathroom, shut the door, and I'm just sitting there in like shock, and Macbeth can totally see this is not what was planned. And he's like, you all right? I'm like, no, I'm bumming, man. It was bad. So she comes out of the bathroom. I walk her back to my car. We listen to the rest of the mixtape. I don't talk to her. We did nothing to say. She was mortified. I was dejected. And so I drop her off at the house. I drove over to my buddy Rick's house. I knock on the door, and he looks, and he opens the door, and he's like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, sit down. I've got a story to tell you. I tell him this story. And you know what? It made me feel better. It made me heal a little bit. And then we went and saw RoboCop. But thank you for letting me heal.